Hello everyone, welcome to the first video from Medora Entertainment. If this video is successful, you can be sure to see more videos like this one in the future, so stay tuned. As of the day this video is to be uploaded, which is February 2nd, 2019, the brand Noggin will officially be 20 years old. For those of you who don't really know what Noggin is, allow me to explain. Noggin is a brand of Viacom that has existed in one form or another since 1999. Specifically, it has existed in three forms. First, an internet-based TV channel for older kids and preteens that existed between 1999 and 2002. Second, an educational TV channel for preschoolers that existed between 2002 and 2009, and an app based off of the educational channel that launched in 2015 and is still going on to this day. For many watching this video, the name Noggin will mean nothing to them, but for many people born in the late 90s and 2000s, myself included, Noggin was a staple of childhood. I personally remember watching Noggin when I came home from daycare in first grade back in the late 2000s, as well as watching some of the Noggin tapes that my father recorded back in the early 2000s. So, to do this brand justice, I present to you the first ever video on YouTube that covers the history of Noggin, a video that explains what it was, what it has become, and the legacy it has created. In 1998, Nickelodeon and Children's Television Workshop, now known as Sesame Workshop, had a dream to create the first mainstream educational and internet-based channel for kids, not just preschoolers like Nick Jr. So, on April 28, 1998, the two companies joined forces and invested $100 million into the project, which was to be called Noggin after the slang term for head, to reflect the channel's educational focus. CTW proposed that the channel should have advertisements like Nick Jr. and Nickelodeon, but both companies decided later on to make it ad-free. This was probably for the best. In the months that followed, the two companies went to schools across the US to find out what kind of education would work best with their demographic, ages 6 to 12. The Commercial Alert Organization, a non-profit organization that is against commercializing education, frowned upon Nickelodeon and CTW for their method of research. Despite this, the Noggin project went on smoothly, and on February 2nd, 1999, the Noggin channel officially launched in North America on satellite and digital.
Hi, I just popped in to tell you that Nickelodeon and CTW made a brand new network for kids. It's called Noggin. Hit it! Noggin now! Noggin, noggin now! Get Noggin, noggin now! Get your Noggin now!
At launch, the channel had 1.5 million subscribers. The channel featured a very 90s style to it, with bright colors, 90s pop art, and abstract Art Deco styling. It had a mascot named Fred, spelled P-H-R-E-D. He was an anthropomorphic pickle that starred in his own show, Fred on Your Head. Noggin's other shows included Classic Sesame Street, The Electric Company. No, not that one. Let's just pretend that one never existed. That's the one. Bill Nye the Science Guy, 321 Contact, Ghost Rider, and some shows for preschoolers like Allegra's Window, Gullah Gullah Island, and Ubi. It featured a website with online games, a drawing application, and various other activities for kids. It advertised itself with various commercials on other networks, programming blocks on other networks, and various sweepstakes. Many people thought of this new channel as a threat to PBS, as Noggin mainly aired programs that aired on PBS in years past. In response to this, and because the 90s styling was starting to look dated anyway, Noggin received a facelift in 2000 that cashed into the cyberspace, if you will, styling of the early 2000s, and between 2000 and 2001, it received new shows such as Sponk and The URL with Fred Show, as well as new features like freeform poems, in which Noggin users could express themselves in the form of poetry, and a new programming block called the Hubbub, not to be confused with the former kids branch of the Hub Network, now known as Discovery Family, in which Noggin users could submit commentary during the airing of a certain show. Think of it as an ancestor to live chats on YouTube. Unfortunately, the Hubbub was discontinued in December 2001. Also in 2001, the Jim Henson Company sold its share of Noggin and its rights to the Sesame Street Muppets to Sesame Workshop, which left Ooby as the only show for preschoolers on Noggin. And so, in March 2002, Noggin manager Tom Aschheim announced that Noggin would be divided into two blocks, one for younger children and one for older children and preteens. And so, on April Fool's Day 2002, Tom's plans were carried out. Noggin was transformed into a network for preschoolers, and to fill the void that Noggin left behind, the N was launched, which was aimed at preteens and teenagers. With this new Noggin came a whole roster of new shows like Blue's Clues, Franklin, Little Bear, Maisie, and Kipper. A show was launched alongside Noggin called Play With Me Sesame, in which characters Bert, Ernie, Grover, and Prairie Dawn would interact with kids and showcase drawings that had been submitted. With this new Noggin also came a new styling, which was very arts and craftsy and colorful. There was also a new mascot named Feet Face, an aquamarine anthropomorphic head with legs that would introduce shows and play games with his viewers in between shows. There were also storytime shorts, otherwise known as And Then What Happened, between shows, in which a classic fairy tale would be told, sometimes with a kid making up his or her own addendum. Surprisingly, this new look wouldn't last long, as a shift in creative directors and management caused the network to receive yet another facelift in April 2003. This introduced the Noggin that most are familiar with, a Noggin with even more arts and craftsy styling designed to evoke a preschool, and new hosts Moose A. Moose and his friend Z. This is also when the slogan, "It's like preschool on TV," along with an ad campaign based off of the slogan were launched.
Everything on Noggin is inspired by preschool.
Wouldn't it be great if life were more like preschool?
Got a package for Cooper in accounting? Can anyone sign for Cooper? In accounting. Guys.
There'd be nap time. Preschool is a warm, inviting place where you learn together, play together, and rest together when you need it most. That's why 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, Noggin is like preschool on TV.
I remember those. Anyway, in 2007, Noggin and the N became their own separate networks rather than sharing the same channel. This was to show how different the two networks' demographics were. On March 12, 2009, it was announced that Noggin would become Nick Jr. and the N would become Teen Nick. Though the channel was renamed, Nick Jr. retained its Noggin styling with Moose and Z in the preschool styling until 2012 when the channel was rebranded entirely. And so, the Noggin brand lay dormant for quite a few years. Fans wondered if their beloved channel was gone for good. Luckily, it wasn't gone for long, as on January 29, 2015, it was announced that Noggin was going to be relaunched as a video app with subscription based off of the Noggin from 2003 to 2009 and the Nick Jr. from 2009 to 2012. At first, it was launched exclusively on iOS, but it soon expanded to Android, Apple TV, Roku, and Amazon. The app features nearly all of the shows from Noggin and costs $7.99 a month. As for Noggin's legacy, you need look no further than here on YouTube. There are hundreds, perhaps thousands, of videos featuring Noggin bumpers, commercials, and more. There is also a growing Noggin community on the internet. Noggin is a very interesting and fascinating brand. But don't take my word for it. Watch the videos. Visit Noggin.com through the Wayback Machine. Get a subscription for the app. You will not be disappointed.